Robert had this brilliant idea. He she suggested that I move in with him so that we could start building our lives together. He said that once we had a couple of kids, my father would have no choice but to accept our situation, and then we could have a proper marriage. So this idea actually made a lot of sense to me. Robert was such a good guy, and his family loved me so much. And whenever I was around them, I felt so comfortable. On the other hand, Usman was a no-go area for me. Although he was a cool guy, yeah, but the religious differences between us would have caused major issues. I did not want to go through the same drama that my parents had over their different beliefs. And trust me, it was a constant battle in their relationship, especially when it came to raising us kids. So I took Robert's advice and I moved in with him. And when I moved in with this guy, oh my God, life was beyond amazing. I can't even find the right words to describe how incredible I felt. Like, this guy lavished me with gifts. He lavished us with gifts, Jane and I. Robert treated me like a queen, and he loved Jane so much, as if she was his own daughter. However, he did not like me keeping friends, so he did not want any envy or negativity around him or around us, thinking that, most ladies were always jealous of their happy friends. So it kind of made sense to me. So I ended up losing touch with all my friends, including Destiny. I actually thought I did not need them because I had Robert and Jane, and those two people were all that mattered to me at that time. So here's where the trouble started. After being together for 8 months, I still had not gotten pregnant. And Robert, well, he started questioning why I could not have a baby. He really wanted to be a father. He loved kids, and it was obvious in the way he treated my daughter. Robert went all out for Jane's education. He enrolled her in one of the best private schools in our city. She had her own music teacher, ballet teacher, and even a diction teacher. So you should understand how unhappy he was when I had not gotten pregnant. He saw the pregnancy as a way to win my father's approval. I started getting worried too. I realized that Robert and I were not legally married yet. And if I did not get pregnant soon, he could send Jane and I out of his life. So I had my suspicions that the past abortion I had might have caused some delays, but luckily for me, the doctor's reports gave me some relief. He said that there was nothing wrong with either of us, and he advised us to stay calm and rely on God. But Robert was not calm, and I could understand. His first daughter was with her mother abroad, and here we were, still waiting for our own bundle of joy. So I tried everything humanly possible, the IVF and the rest, but nothing seemed to work. I started feeling like maybe God was punishing me for the abortion I had in the past, but I did not give up. I took matters into my own hands. I went to every possible place. I tried all sorts of things, and I wasn't sure which one paid off, but exactly 3 years after moving into Robert's house, I found out that I was pregnant. Robert and I were overly happy. He was overflowing with joy, and as a special gift for being pregnant, he bought me a gas station. And that wasn't all. He told me he had more surprises in store for me, especially if the baby turned out to be a boy. So I went back to all those places I had visited before and kept praying for a baby boy. So those 7 months after finding out that I was pregnant, or those 7 months were some of the best times of my life. Like Robert spoiled Jane and I silly. I suddenly thanked God that things did not work out with Papa, Brother Ken, or even Brother Stefan. So I did not even bother to find out the gender of this baby because I was so sure that it was going to be a boy. So I did not have any ultrasound scan done, just regular antenatal checkups to make sure that the baby was healthy. But then, on the 17th of March, things took a scary turn. I had a dream where I was drenched in rain, holding Jane and the baby in my hands. And there was this wicked man trying to take them away from me. So my late mother came to my defense, but Robert just stood there, unable to do anything. And then this man finally took the baby from my hands and slammed down on the floor. I woke up from that dream really frightened. I prayed and I called my spiritualist for help. So that same day, I had driven Jane to school since Robert was out of town. So my way back from dropping her off, my water broke inside the car. So I carefully drove myself to the hospital and called Robert to let him know. He was so happy and he told me that he would take the next available flight back to town. So the delivery was painful. I kept gasping for breath and luckily Robert arrived just in time for the pushing stage. So I pushed with all my might, and finally I gave birth to my precious baby, Hope. Now here's where things took a surprising turn. When Hope was born, she didn't quite look like what we expected. I could see the shock on Robert's face. Even the nurses seemed concerned, so my heart sank. And I wondered if she was a girl. So I asked the nurses to let me see my baby, and as soon as I laid eyes on her, all I could shout was Jesus. The only name I knew that could save me from that situation. Jesus.